friends, welcome to another episode of Killingly Public Library's craft videos. Today I'm going to upcycle again. I'm going to use a jar, just a plain old jar, but this time I have taken some Mod Podge, and I did this ahead of time, sorry, but I needed it to be dry. So I took Mod Podge and I just added like 1 drop of blue food coloring to maybe about a tablespoon or so of Mod Podge, and I painted the inside of the jar. I wanted the inside just because it is a little in places where it's a little thicker, maybe it's kind of bumpy and uneven, so I went with the inside of the jar so the outside could still be smooth and look great. Obviously, if you're putting the Mod Podge inside, you're not going to fill this and use it as a vase. If you wanted to paint the outside of it and use the Mod Podge that way, then you could use it as a vase. But I wanted to use mine as a lantern. And I went with blue because I wanted to have it be kind of more like an ocean. But you could make your ocean more teal, or maybe you like a purple ocean. I don't know, whatever colors you think would be good for your ocean water. And the other thing I have is I cut out a mermaid, just a silhouette. I printed it from online and then just cut around it. I did take a black marker and went around the edges in a few spots where a little bit of the white did seem to show. I don't know if I snipped a little too sharply rather than rounded, if that's what it was, but I did have to touch up a tiny bit just on the outer edges with the black Sharpie. I'm going to glue the mermaid in with just some with a glue stick. You could also use some more Mod Podge if you had it left. I painted this a while ago, so I don't have the Mod Podge handy. And I'm also not going to glue the entire mermaid down. That way she might look like she's actually swimming a little bit. So I think I'm just going to put a little glue, maybe kind of in her middle area, so the tail and the head maybe are bent away from the jar a tad. And you want to use a glue that's going to dry clear. If you have liquid glue, that would be great. Or like I said, some more Mod Podge. Do find the spot you want to have her swimming in your jar, or maybe you don't want a mermaid. I wanted a mermaid. Maybe you just want some fish or a shark or whatever. Maybe you don't even want anything swimming in your jar. Maybe you just want it to look like the water and throw some seashells inside or something. You know, get creative and do whatever suits you. But if you do notice, I do have some spots where it's maybe a little thicker when I spread the Mod Podge inside. I must have got a little more in spots than others, because there's a few places where it is a little more clumpy, like very thick. So I've glued her in, and I'm just kind of pulling away her hair and head a little with my fingers, and I'm doing the same with her tail. I'm not folding it, but just kind of giving it a little shape and moving it a little bit, just so it does seem more like she's swimming than just flat up against the jar. So there's my mermaid in my jar. And if you had a little lantern, you could stop there if you wanted. You could, if you had black paint, you could even paint the mermaid in. I just went ahead and cut out paper. You could add seaweed paint. If you had, black paint, you could paint on some seaweed. You could cut out seaweed from the printouts, just like I did the mermaid. If you had beach sand, you could put some glue on the bottom and add some beach sand. Or, I don't know, maybe try some gold glitter. Maybe that would resemble beach sand enough for you to go with that. I am just leaving my mermaid in there. I did not even want to bother cutting seaweed. That was just a little more than I was up for today. But I did think I would take some twine and wrap it around the top of the jar to kind of cover the little marks for twisting your lid on. So I'm just going to dab a little hot glue on the back of the jar here and start running some twine. When you're done wrapping the twine around, if that's the route you're going, you can just tie it up in a little knot. You could even just tie it in a bow if you wanted. I just went with the knot. Another cool thing might be if you had some fishing net, you could even hang some fishing net on here. I'm just going to dab on a couple of seashells because I just thought that would be kind of cool. So I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want the seashells to lay and trim my twine accordingly. What I decided I wanted to do was to leave my larger shell kind of closer to the top. I'm going to dab some glue here and run my twine in there to kind of hold it down. So my shell is on the twine, and I have a small shell here as well, and it has a hole at the end. So I'm actually going to put some glue on the twine and stick it, the twine into the seashell that way, and just kind of have this one hanging more at the end of the twine. There, so I've added my seashells on and I've got my mermaid swimming, and that's all I'm probably going to do. But then I can put a little lantern in there, you know, one of those little electric tea lights, the battery operated tea lights, and it would just really look pretty glowing on a shelf in your room, or maybe you have a bathroom that's kind of ocean themed or something. Yeah, just a little something quick and easy today. And I'm sure you have something laying around the house that you could um, get creative and decorate your jar with. Thank you so much for stopping in today. I hope you enjoyed this craft video, and please feel free to share your finished projects with me at info@killinglypl.org. I would love to see them. And until our next video, have a great day.